Well, hello, Glue Troopers. As you can tell, I had a little red paint left in the air gun. Wow, whole bunch of things got done today. I didn't finish the racers, but I did make a lot of headway on them. I got the GB painted and trimmed, and it's not a work of art. I knew it. I knew it wouldn't be perfect or anything, but I have to admit it. It's not a train wreck either. I mean, I'm kind of happy with it. The decals that were sent with it are microscale, so I don't know if those were the ones that originally came with the kit or if TD added those on his own, but they're pretty much that, and clear coat's about all I have left. And the Supermarine racer was essentially salvaged. I mean, it'll go on the shelf. It's from certain angles you can see what I oopsed on it. But the GB, I tried a couple of different things to get that trim, and what I decided to do was, once I had it all taped off, I started with the trim, then put the red paint over it, and then just touched up the trim as needed. I wound up using a felt marker that had a slightly wider nib on it that I wanted, because the real narrow one, it didn't reliably put out the ink. I suppose an ink marker or a paint pen might have worked better. I was using a Sharpie. A lot of people like Sharpies, and the wider Sharpie did, the regular standard, which you might call standard felt tip Sharpie, did do a good job. It was just I say it was a slightly wider trim than I want, but actually I look at it, it's not that. I mean, you look close, of course you're going to see the blemishes, but standing here a few feet away, at least my eyes, I'm actually kind of happy with it. A couple of viewers had told me, one in particular who was really in the know, that the trim on the GB is actually dark blue, not black, so I got the darkest blue I could find. But against the red, it actually looks okay. Next time, what I might do that could work, because I had trouble getting the scallops, because this has little raised edges so you can see where the paint line goes. But once I put the tape on it, they were pretty much obliterated, so I kind of had to go from, just rub it, eyeballing it. But what I might do if I do another one is very carefully take the Sharpie and go over those ridges, outline it with the trim marker before I put the tape on, because the tape, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to see that through the tape. That would make it easier to cut, and you'd probably have a little more latitude on if the trim's pin is a little bit wider than you want, you could probably trim just inside it a bit. That's one technique. That's how I did it. Of course, it's not as good as the one on the box, but whoever did that, of course, clearly a master. But if I do a few more, they get better each time, right? But overall, not unhappy with it. Once I get the decals on it, hopefully tomorrow. That brings up another thing. Tomorrow's my last day home before I head out on safari for about 9 days. I have a very short break in the middle, so there may not be any content for a week or so unless I do something on the road. I am going to take Zaku with me, because I do have at least one day that I'm going to be just sitting in a hotel all day long. Or at least from lunchtime on, and I'm going to take my new clippers with me too, my new snips, and so this will give me something to do, because I'll be up in DC, and man, I'm not going outside the hotel. It's cold up there. I went ahead and bought one of these. I was at the hobby shop today getting the paint, and I tried to use the darker bright red, as some of you guys had pointed out, to get the color right. And I decided to go ahead and commit, bought some more rocket engines and one of the fin mounting units. And I know you can make your own stencil and everything to do it, but it's just easier to spend the $22 and go ahead and get something, figure out how to make it work. Of course, I've got all kinds of tubes here. I'm going to be making a lot of throwaway rockets. Well, I call them throwaways. I should say homemade rockets, because I'm only going to throw them away if they don't come back or they get destroyed. But other than that, that was the bulk of the building day right there. Still hadn't gotten on the Waddell Williams racer. Won't do that till I come back from this long set of days off, which brings up an interesting point. While I was at the hobby shop, of course, first stop as you come in the door are the models, so let's take a look-see. And they had a Williams brother racing plane there. I was like, oh, Williams Brothers, because I knew Williams Brothers had to shut down for a while. I said, maybe, you know, they're back in business. But apparently that's some older stock, because I went on the Williams Brothers website. They haven't posted, which is part of Bread Industries now, and they haven't posted anything for about, I think since the 7th month of last year. So, you know, going on 9 months or so, 8 months. And I'm sorry to hear that. I did read their page, and apparently Williams Brothers, they're having some money issues. And of course, models are selling like hotcakes right now because everybody's cooped up at home. But they're having problems getting plastic and rubber supplies. And all the plastic vendors, styrene vendors, apparently want to take, you know, like 3/4 of a ton of styrene, which is just more than a small 1 or 2 man shop like that needs. And I don't think they're able to get rubber at all. So they wound up putting their old stuff back in the hopper and grinding it down, and to shoot what kits they could. But I'm not sure what their situation is now. They haven't posted any update. They had I almost thought about calling them, but I figured, you know, they're busy, because this is a side job for them. He runs a regular business. The last thing he needs is to be getting bothered at work by some guy who runs a backwater YouTube channel. But I do hope they're able to get it going, because from what I've seen so far, their kits, they're really nice, and the kit wasn't that expensive either. Speaking of which, I saw a pair of Tamiya ME 109E3s, and one was in German markings and one was in Swiss markings. And I was surprised that Tamiya has kind of gone back to the quasi white box thing. They did it on the Swiss one, and maybe they just wanted to make it stand out so they didn't confuse it with the German one. It could be a marketing thing. I don't know. Maybe it was cost savings. But these kits are like 31 and change, call it $32. What shocked me was I look at the Hasegawa kit, and it was over $40 for a 1/72nd scale Hasegawa Zero. Now look, Hasegawa makes fine products, man, but that just ain't right. I don't know why it costs that much. It's you know, 2/3 the size and yet a third or a quarter more the cost than a 1/48 scale Tamiya. That this does not compute. So maybe somebody can clue me on what the story is there. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. If I can get something out tomorrow, I will. Actually, there is one thing. I am working on the Aurora Files Spock video. I submitted the script to Andy today, and he made a few corrections, gave it the thumbs up. So hopefully I'll record that and get that out tomorrow. And kind of interesting little story behind the Spock with the phaser, you know, with the stunning the 3-headed snake. That's like a lot of these kits. There's models never seem to go in a straight line. There are twists and turns. So with that said, guys, I'll let you go. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. If I don't see you again for a week or more, I want to once again thanks everybody for the support, for the kind words, and everything else. I hope your situation is good, and we will see to it, you know, all of us pull together and see to it that the great Styrene River provides. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and model on.